Hey there again, folks. Welcome back to my Let's Play of Remember 11, The Age of Infinity. And last time we did another jump. Uni was acting peculiar, and apparently to get away he made Kokoro swap personalities, transfer over to Satoru. I wonder if I just told the truth there. Told the truth. I like wording it that way. I wonder if I actually guessed it properly there. I doubt it. But there's something very, very strange about him. You know what? I don't doubt it that much. Slight doubt. Moderate doubt. Uni's more involved in this than I think he's quite involved. But anyway, sitting in front of me where Uni had just been was Hattori. She was watching me with a blank look on her face. Wanting to hear the rest of what Uni had been about to say, I started searching for him. Walked over to Uni's room, but before that, entering Satoru's room, I confirmed the current time. Glanced at the clock on the shelf. 9:49 p.m. The last transfer occurred at 8:06, so that means I was at the shelter cabin for about an hour and 43 minutes. Thinking back, it felt like I had spent more than 4 hours staying inside the shelter cabin during the day. In the meantime, while gazing at the clock, I began pondering. Now, that's important too, but there's something bothering me even more right now. The newspaper. What did the words Uni said right before I transferred mean? The newspaper's real. So does that mean it was brought here from the future? It's definitely the way it sounds like it means. The door to Uni's room was slightly open. Not bothering to knock, I rush in. And crash into Uni, who was standing near the doorway. Like he's expecting her. Ah! Both of us having fallen on our bottoms, I looked across at Uni. As still a question mark had appeared over his head, Uni let out a deep sigh and shrugged his shoulders. As Uni indicated that the answer to my question was beyond him, I began to worry a little. It's strange. Why can't I get through to him? Didn't Uni and I jump here together? No. And then he says something unexpected. There's a corpse we should know about? Who died? Was it the work of the murderer? Hattori was safe? And he's right in front of me. As quickly as flipping a switch, I flew out of the room. I was about to run all the way to Utsumi's room, but I then came to a stop. If Utsumi was dead, what should I do? It would mean that the culprit was either Uni or Hattori. Could Uni, with his innocent face, have killed her? Or had Unabushi finally shown her true colors? At the very least, the two looked completely calm. Uni was so composed as he said the word corpse. Was he fine because he himself was the killer? Hattori was still in the kitchen. Continuing on, I unsteadily tried to sneak past beside her, and I felt something grab hold of my arm. Frightened, I shifted my gaze to her eyes, which were set in an expression of anger. What is it? Say something? If you don't, I won't understand anything. Shook her arm off mine. As if saying, here, here, Hattori pointed her finger at the area by my feet. Nonchalantly, I looked down. All my strength left my body and I crashed down where I was. Oh, the corpse is a rat. And I guess this is where that choice, okay. I guess this is where that choice from earlier about whether or not she can handle rats comes into play. With a shiver, I could feel all the hair on my body stand on end. I'm really not good with rats. Rats. And I really was enjoying that Ninja Turtles show until I found out that their master was a rat. Then I quit. That's when I started watching Power Rangers completely. That'd be funny if that's her story. Quickly peeking at it, the rat appeared to be dead. Moreover, its head was stained with blood from having been cruelly crushed. Feeling sick to my stomach, I found myself unable to look away from the scene. A lot of things have happened until now, and it was getting to be too much to follow, as if someone was trying to continually test my courage. It felt like I had been on a long and horrible trip until now. My mind is overheating. This may be the same feeling as having a bad drug trip. Satoru worriedly peeked at my face, and then Utsumi came up from the stairs leading to the basement. Blankly staring at me, she replied. Blanket or something? Like towel? Okay. In her hands was a towel and a small spade. It seemed that the corpse he mentioned wasn't Utsumi after all. Then just what? Figure it out. Utsumi stared at the rat's remains. Oops. While gently wrapping the rat's corpse in the towel, Utsumi said, Satoru nodded. The reason for her angered expression from before was probably because I just ran off, despite promising to give it a burial. Utsumi carried the towel that the rat was wrapped in her arm. Utsumi carried the towel that the rat was wrapped in her arms as if it was extremely precious. It was almost as if she were embracing a baby. Satoru too had knit her brow in mourning for the death of the rat. Corpse of brown rats. Where is there a brown rat in this facility? Taking a deep breath, Utsumi left through the front entrance. Satoru went off somewhere as well. After being liberated from the rat, I let out a sigh of relief. In the meanwhile, I should go confirm with Uni. I headed toward where Uni was. Uni was lying sprawled on top of the bed. Seeing me, he made a fed-up face. I frantically shook my head. Rat? She didn't figure it out even then? She can be a little slow. Kokoro can. Well, I guess we can all be slow in our own ways. Flop down onto the bed. The truth was never anything to be afraid of, duh. It was just the rat's remains that Uni had called a corpse. The sick, intoxicated feeling of being on a bad trip began to fade. Was this too just me getting spooked by shadows? There wasn't anything eerie at all, only fear itself. In reality, there might not actually be a murderous monster. Just like a broken specter, the thing that had created the shadow of the murderer may be myself, controlled by my fear. Began to feel as if everything was just a bad dream. What is that? Spectre? Broken Spectre. On a high mountain at sunrise or sunset, when one is standing in front of a bank of fog, the sunlight shining from behind you may project your shadow onto the fog, surrounded by a ring of rainbow light. Oh. I called it a broken, didn't I? This is called a broken specter. Brocken specter. The resulting gigantic shadows, like those of a monster, have been called the phantoms of the Brocken. The name of the phenomenon comes from the Brocken, a mountain of Bavaria, Germany, where it has often been observed. Okay. Can't believe I said broken. I'm glad I didn't go into a wild tangent about, getting a specter fixed or anything, because then I probably would never have noticed it. Well, that whole thing would have been submitted to internet laughterdom. Of course, feel free to laugh. Anything I say means I'm at least saying something mildly entertaining, even if it's a mistake. I began to feel as if everything was just a bad dream, except the pain from my slashed left arm keeps on reminding me that this is real. Simeon and Tori had yet to return from outside. I wasn't in the mood to help with the burial at all. Thinking that I wanted to cool my own head, I stood in front of the glass window in the living area and stared outside. Outside the window were a terrace, a table, and a chair buried in snow. If it were summer, it might be nice to have a barbecue there. However, right now, the snow blew violently. Couldn't even see a few meters ahead of me. Just when will it finally stop? These past 2 days, I've seen nothing but snow. The sky has been hiding behind the clouds since forever ago. Forever ago. When Simeon and Tori returned, they had only been outside for a few minutes, but they were completely covered in snow. I went to greet the two of them. So that was why Sumi had her coat on. It seems dealing with the rat's remains was my Satoru's duty. That's why I apologize for the time being. Panicking, I quickly evaded the subject. As if running away, I retreated back to Satoru's room. And she needs to communicate with him. I had noticed when I was confirming the time because I was so surprised, but a note had been left on top of the table. Okay, like I said. Taking the note in my hand, I lay down on the bed. I began reading the note. Kokoro, this is sort of sudden, but do you know where the largest mountain on the planet is? Whoa, coming on a little bit too strong there. Asking where the biggest mountain is? Gosh. That would be the worst pickup line. Kokoro, you know where the biggest mountain is located in the whole world? In my pants. That's the worst pickup line of all time. But that would be hilarious if that's the response. Okay, good. It's not the one he gave. It's on the border of Nepal and Tibet. It's really strange that he. I guess it is a kind of a not necessarily sudden, but random. Say sudden, it sounds like it's going to be something a little bit more personal or something. I don't know. That's just the way to interpret it in my head. Elevation 8850 meters. That's strange. I don't know why. I don't care. It goes without saying that I'm talking about Everest. Well then, on the other hand, where do you think the deepest point on the planet is? In this case, it's the deepest point on the planet means the lowest place that a flesh and blood human can reach. It'd be Oh, okay. In other words, not an ocean trench, but somewhere underground. I was thinking it. I was about to say the Mariana Trench, and that's one of the deepest places in the world. You know where it is? Correct answer is in the Republic of South Africa. Seemed like the lowest actual point, like surface, is wait, where is it? Isn't it over there in New Mexico? Can't remember the name of it, but it's one of the lowest points on Earth. Surface, it's well below sea level. Something. Really having trouble remembering what it is. In a deep level gold mine, there exists the deepest hole in the world. Depth is about 3,580 meters. But you know, I just found a place that's even deeper than that. I'm even gonna read it. I'm so thankful to a girl named Fuyukawa. Okay, now it does sound like he's. Now this does kind of sound like I'm sure he's just actually being grateful. But it does sound. But that was pretty cheesy and corny. This thankfulness is even deeper than that deep level mine, and at the same time, I'm so moved it hurts. It's like earthquakes way below the ground in my heart. The feelings in my heart climb higher than Everest from the bottom of the earth. In other words, if the feelings in my heart were to be converted into units of distance, they truly reach far above 12,430 meters high. Sounds like this guy, the only girls this guy can pick up is math majors. Because if he tries to pick up girls with this sort of stuff, they're gonna be like, I don't know what you're saying. I don't get it. I don't want to get it. That's around how grateful I am to you right now. I am 12,430 meters thankful to you right now. It could be 40. I could add an extra 10, but I don't want to go too far. Of course, I'm talking about how you safely got away from the culprit who's after me. Thank you very much, Kokoro. Because I'm a man who's studying the natural sciences, I can't think of the right words to express myself. But far above 12,430 meters. My feelings can be transmitted through this numerical value. There's nothing more I desire. I thought she was going to say, I was worried about the injuries inflicted on his physical thing, but it sounds like he's got knocked in the head a few times too. I should worry about those as well. I felt just a little proud of myself. Well then, no matter how many words I string together, it won't be enough to tell you how thankful I am, but there's something else important I have to tell you. I have no idea when we'll transfer again after all. Apologize for the rudeness, but I'll be changing the subject to my reply around here. Sat up on the bed. This wasn't something to be read lying down. Without thinking about it, I sat up perfectly straight. By somebody, who did I mean? I put it in the voice recorder too, but I don't know. My answer is that I don't know. Except I don't think it's Uni. I don't have any proof or anything, but I can't even imagine Uni being the one that's after me. And I think I can exclude Itsumi-san as a suspect based on my personal impression of her. In her case, I'm especially doubtful since her speech and conduct aren't the least bit suspicious. Right. Because, people who are guilty, they always sound guilty. Not a one of them are ever able to sound convincing. They're the people who really are. There's people who don't even know they're lying and doing stuff. Last one is Satoru. I hesitate to talk about her in black and white. Just as you wrote, she was the culprit in Awazumi incident after all. Even if the Hotori personality is uninvolved, there's another more ferocious personality lurking within her. you can probably say that the probability is high. It wouldn't be going overboard to give a warning. Indeed, that's true. Question. Why do you think that someone is after you? Now that you mention it, I haven't told you the details yet, huh? I was on the clock tower when I was first attacked. I was pushed off it by someone. Okay, yeah, that's actually something I was wondering about myself. Thankfully, my injuries weren't too bad, but if I'd landed the wrong way, I might have died. I don't know whether the culprit in that incident intended to kill me, but they at least did it with the goal of hurting me in mind. Yeah. I was just goofing when I pushed you off that building. Sheesh, man, learn how to take a joke. After falling from the clock tower, I lost consciousness. When you woke up at Sphia, it was probably a few hours afterward. That's right, when I came to Sphia for the first time, I was lying on the bed. Consumi was treating me at the time, but I remember my entire body aching painfully. I jumped into his body after he was in that condition from being pushed off. If Satoru's body had died soon afterward, I might have died along with it. I'm thankful it wasn't too serious. The next time they came after me, I was in the bathroom. While I was in the bath, someone tried drowning me by plunging my head into the water. To almost be drowned in the bathroom, I shivered, not from the cold, but from fear. Suddenly feeling uneasy, I got off the bed. I locked the door. I checked the lock on the window. Because I don't know when the murderous monster will come after me again. I sat down on the bed, and thinking that a hand would pop out from under it, I put my feet on top of the bed. So that I couldn't be attacked from behind, I set my back against the headboard and continued reading a note while hugging my knees. Hey Kokoro, what's up? You know who the culprit is? Please tell me in detail what it was that happened then. I'm begging you. What does he mean? Do I know who the culprit is? There's no way. The clock tower incident happened before the personality exchange started occurring, after all. And the power was out there in the incident in the bathtub, as well as the knife attack, so I couldn't see anything. What are you trying to say? I didn't understand what he meant at all. In the meantime, I continued reading. Sorry, the conversation changed direction a bit. Well, that's it for now. The clock tower, bathroom, and my left arm being cut. These three things happening in succession meant that someone is after me. More correctly, someone is after my life. Question. About Sphia, is there any way to leave, or are there any means to communicate with the outside? It's hard for me to say, but the answer to both questions is probably no. If my memory is correct, there shouldn't be any way to leave or communicate with the outside world. Can't say this for certain because right now I'm a little amnesic from the fall. Really. More or less remember Sphia, but it might be that there's something I'm forgetting. Apologize for only being able to respond with such irresponsibly unhelpful answers. If I remember anything, I'll tell you right away. I'll tell you right when I think of something. Right away. You know, as soon as we transfer bodies, which could take minutes to hours to do. About the shelter cabin, when did anything important happen? I don't think there have been any big changes. Emogi-san and Uni are just lazing about. Only Lynn is emotionally unstable, but that's normal for her. I like how that's her normal default state. There isn't really... I can agree with it though. There isn't really anything important I have to tell you at the moment. Whoa, wait a second. He said that rather familiarly, Lee. And he called her Lynn, too. No, somebody else has called her Lynn. Uni. And he's pretty quick to be familiar and push her buttons. Hmm. Okay, since we're throwing time travel in there, let me just throw a crazy, wacky, silly suggestion out there. Since Satoru is saying something that he's a little amnesic, they've got some time travel going on here. Here's a silly theory. It's probably not the case. But what if there's actually two different angles you could take it with it? Yeah, you could actually take two different angles with it. What if Uni and Satoru are the same person? Satoru has went back in time, and he's Satoru Yukido Uni. What is Uni's full name? I can't remember his full name. They say Yukido and Uni. I mean, there's all that's missing is an N there. That would be that important. They have the same hair color, don't they? Yeah, it might get quiet for just a second. Yeah, I think they have the same hair color. Of course, that doesn't really mean anything for sure. But yeah, they do. They both have dealt with her very familiarly. Mayuzumi. They both called her Lynn. And we definitely know that Satoru knows her. Well, he kind of just proved it right there. I was actually thinking that was from his impressions from the cabin, but she apparently knows him. And yeah, after I got to think about it, that didn't he was speaking from more experience than just in the cabin, saying that that's her normal default state. But anyway, another thing it could be would be Uni is a clone of Satoru that hasn't grown to maturity yet. They might both be clones. That'd be a possibility too. But anyway, I answered everything that was within the scope of my knowledge. After that, there's the timing of our transfers. Thanks to save me. Thanks to that, I now know that the transfer times I recorded in yours are more or less the same. Tentatively, the transfer times that I've checked go something like this. 1:07, transfer to shelter cabin. 1:40 p.m., return to Sophia. 6:03 p.m., transfer to shelter cabin. Ba-da-ba p.m., return to Sophia. 7:33, transfer to shelter cabin. 8:06, return to Sophia. Please don't mind the da-da-da in the fourth one. That time I was in the dark running away from someone with a knife. I still expect you to catch time, man. Ask the killer. Joe Killer. What's the time? You're gonna kill me, I mean, what's it gonna hurt to tell me? Seriously, you're a slacker. And have the opportunity to check the time. I don't know yet whether there's a rule about the timing of the transfers. It's 11 minutes. It's 33 minutes, but they're there. The only thing I can say for sure is that you and I both transfer into each other's bodies at the same time. Yeah, as far as the actual transfers, it's like different times in between. But now I was able to catch a pattern that stays in. When she's at the Spia, she's there for 33 minutes. Not that hard to catch that pattern. With that, please continue checking the time from here on out too. It's not like we have a big sample to work with after all. Sample what? What are you talking about? Sample of information or something? A statistics term, meaning a subset of population which is used for collecting information, may or may not be representative of the population as a whole. Okay. And lastly, about your body. Don't worry, it's in good hands. That would be the worst thing he could ever say. That would be the worst thing. I'll protect it no matter what. I take it upon myself to always repay favors. But he will. He's saying he'll protect it. He didn't say that he won't show it to everybody for $5. Hey, Yo, Mogi, you want to see Kokoro's panties? $5. So wrong. It's pretty much what he did too, sorta. Even though he didn't specifically try to do it. As I continued to read the contents of the message, I felt disappointed. Just remembering it made my cheeks turn red. I think I should tell him to be mindful of other people's eyes as well. It'd be funny if she's like, if you don't start taking care, I will totally streak around Sophia. That'd be awkward. But it is an asylum, so if somebody just stripped off and started running around naked, would it be that unsurprising? And moreover, Kokoro and I have a connection that can't be severed, even if someone tries to cut it. I just noticed it now, but it seems that I, without you, am just me. But either way, the fact that I'm me doesn't change, but even so, when you're there, I feel like I can be more like myself. There's a 4-character Chinese aphorism or something. It goes like that. Do you know it? Sekijukansei. Red accepts blue entirely is what it means. Maybe I've been trapped by that phenomenon myself. Of course it's because you're here that this phenomenon came into existence in the first place, but though. Red accepts blue entirely. That's not true trying to say, I have no idea. Red accepts blue entirely. As a thought, I don't know. Red and blue. Aka and Owl. Are Mount Akakura and is Mount Akakura and Aosagi Island involved somehow? Is it about our personality exchange? Is it about the Red versus Blue series? That's pretty funny. We should write it in a way that's a little easier to understand. Man, this is a bit of a longer one than I intended. I want to get through to his letter at least. Sorry that was a little much, huh? Yeah, this guy's definitely not picked up any girls at all. Anyway, I definitely won't let you die, no matter what. So try to relax somehow. Believe in me. I'll multiply my 12,430 meters worth of appreciation. Pay it all back to you. I could make a joke, I'm not going to. I noticed that after reading up to here, Satoru didn't answer all my questions. About the newspaper, about uni. He didn't even touch upon those two subjects. Why is it? Why didn't he write anything? I don't think he simply forgot. Maybe he has a reason for not answering. Oh, that's right, there's one last thing I want to say. It might be rude to say something like this, but Kokoro's drawing was the work of a prodigy. Well then later. That's funny. I had the feeling that he chose the word prodigy very delicately. It's the work of a first grader that really has a little bit of potential to be a great artist later. But not now. I think is what he's trying to say. That's a lot of information. Speculation too. Especially since that's the first time I thought about that. We're gonna have to pay attention to how Uni acts to Mayuzumi now. See if there's any hints. If that is the case. I doubt it is. But it's. But anyway, yeah, this one's been a bit of a long episode. I'm trying to keep them under 30 minutes. Or 30 minutes to cut off point. But anyway, I do hope you folks enjoyed. And I shall see you in the next one. Farewell there.